Before we dive into the juicy strategy and tactical tips that'll help you go viral, we need to zoom out and ground everything in one simple truth. It starts with you, like actually you. Not the watered-down version you think TikTok wants. Not the performative version that tries to sound like everyone else, but the real you. So pause for a sec and think. What's the vibe you bring when you walk into a room? What's your energy when you're texting your best friend a voice note rant? What's your tone when you're FaceTiming someone you trust and you're fired up about something? Are you the bold, blunt friend who says what everyone else is thinking? Are you warm and wise, soft, soulful, and a little bit witchy? Are you sarcastic and chaotic in the most entertaining way? Are you a spiritual baddie who drops manifestations and memes in the same breath? Whatever it is, that is where your content starts. Your content doesn't begin with a niche or an aesthetic or a perfect strategy. It begins with your voice, your real one. TikTok is not asking for more creators with perfectly curated feeds. It's asking for more you. Let me give you an example. I once posted a Neville Goddard quote. It was deep. It was spiritual. It was high level. But I didn't say it with soft lighting and crystals in the background. I didn't whisper it like some ethereal fairy priestess. Nope. I said it with full Jersey girl energy. Zero filter. A little grit. A lot of vibe. My friend literally said I sounded like Tony Soprano explaining the law of assumption. And guess what? That video, 2 million views. I filmed it in 20 seconds. No fancy captions. No editing. No production value. Just me. In my energy. And that's the thing. Your voice is the brand. Your vibe is the scroll stopper. Even if you're saying something that's been said 1,000 times before, saying it in your way makes it new again. That's what people fall in love with. Not the niche. Not the editing. You. That's what makes them watch all your content. That's what makes them follow. That's what makes them buy. So if you've been hiding behind polished posts or professional energy, this is your invitation to drop the act. Unmute your magic. Talk how you actually talk. And let the world see you. Because once you do that, your content flows. Your people find you. And your business grows without it feeling like a grind. Let's unlock the real you. Let's build a brand that doesn't burn you out. Let's make content that hits because it feels like you. Let's go. Let me start by asking you something. Have you ever watched someone on TikTok and thought, there's nothing special about what they're saying, but I can't stop listening? They're not shouting. They're not doing anything flashy. They're not pretending to be someone else. Yet something about them feels real. And that's why people stay. That's what we're really talking about here today. Not growth hacks. Not tricks. Not chasing the algorithm. We're talking about why some people connect and most don't. And it starts with something people keep skipping. It starts with you. Not the version of you that thinks it needs to sound professional. Not the version that's trying to copy what's already working. Not the version that thinks it needs permission to speak. The real you. Because TikTok doesn't reward perfection. It rewards presence. The algorithm doesn't sit there asking, is this polished enough? Is this expert enough? Is this impressive enough? It asks one thing. Does this feel human? Think about how you actually talk when you're explaining something you care about. Not presenting, not selling, not performing, but helping. That tone you use when someone is stuck and you genuinely want to help them move forward. That's your advantage. Most people never let that version of themselves show up online. They put on a voice. They tighten up. They script themselves into something stiff and forgettable. And then they wonder why content feels exhausting. I've seen people say the exact same idea 100 times. Same topic, same niche, same information. Only one version lands. Not because it was smarter, but because it felt real. Your voice is not something you add after you figure everything else out. Your voice is the strategy. When people feel you, they stay. When they stay, trust forms. And once trust is there, growth becomes natural. That's why before we talk about formats, trends, or tactics, we have to ground this first. Because if you build content without your voice, you'll burn out trying to keep up with someone else's energy. Now let's slow this down and make it practical. Be yourself sounds nice, but it's useless advice if you don't know what that actually means. So here's a simple exercise that changes everything. I call it the 3-word voice map. Not branding words, not marketing words, just you. Ask yourself, how do people describe you when you're not in the room? What do people come to you for? What energy do you naturally bring without trying? Some people are calm and grounding. Some are direct and no nonsense. Some are reflective and thoughtful. Some are quietly confident. Some are blunt but honest. There's no correct combination. But once you identify those 3 words, something clicks. Because now every piece of content has a filter. You stop asking, what should I post? And instead you ask, would I actually say this like this? That question alone removes most of the friction. Here's the real test. Before you post anything, ask yourself, would I say this to someone I genuinely care about? If the answer is no, rewrite it. If it sounds stiff, forced, or like a performance, let it go. TikTok doesn't want presenters. It wants people. Your content should feel like a conversation, not a lecture. Like a voice note, not a script. That's what makes people lean in. Now let's talk about what actually stops most people. Because it's not a lack of ideas. It's not a lack of time. And it's not saturation. It's visibility fear. Fear of being judged. Fear of being misunderstood. Fear of people from your past watching. Fear of not getting it right. That fear doesn't disappear before you post. It disappears because you post. Confidence is not a prerequisite. It's a byproduct. That's why waiting to feel ready never works. So instead of trying to remove fear, we work with it. This is where a simple structure helps. When you're stuck, you don't need inspiration. You need a permission slip. That's what the PUSD method is. You pick a topic that already has energy, something people are reacting to emotionally. You offer your opinion, not an explanation, a reaction. You say it messy, before your brain talks you out of it. And you tap into what's already working, sounds, formats, trends. You're not copying, you're participating. Posting is the medicine, not perfection. Posting. Every time you do it, the fear loses a little power. Now here's where most people overcomplicate things. They think they need endless ideas, endless creativity, endless motivation. They don't. They need containers. There are only 4 content formats you need. 1. Raw, honest rants. You talking straight to the camera. No filter. No polish. 2. Structured, scripted videos. Clear, direct, value-driven. 3. Short text videos. Fast, emotional, loopable. 4. Series, repeatable, binge-worthy. That's it. You rotate based on energy, not pressure. Some days you feel inspired. Some days you're tired. Structure doesn't limit creativity. It protects it. This is how you stay consistent without burning out. Now let's talk about growth. Real growth, not vanity metrics, not chasing viral moments. Momentum. You don't need to post perfectly. You need to post consistently. Daily posting creates data. Data shows patterns. Patterns show you what works. And once something works, you lean into it. You don't need to go viral every time. You need to find what resonates and repeat it. That's how creators actually grow. Now let's remove the last excuse people cling to. I don't know what to post. Once you understand this next part, that excuse disappears. You only need 2 lists. The first list is what your audience wants. Freedom, clarity, confidence, income, relief. The second list is what you believe. Simplicity beats complexity. Messy action beats perfection. You don't need permission. Consistency wins. Every piece of content is just 1 want plus 1 belief. That's it. Talk about what they want. Say what you believe. Over and over. Different moods. Different days. Different formats. That's how content becomes infinite. Now let's talk about hooks. Because none of this matters if people don't stop scrolling. Your first line decides everything. TikTok is fast. People scroll on instinct. If the first line doesn't spark curiosity, emotion, or tension, they're gone. Hooks are not about being clever. They're about being honest and direct. Say the most interesting line first. Then explain. Don't warm up. Don't build slowly. Lead with the point. And say it like a human, not an ad. Your hook should sound like you talking to someone, not presenting to an audience. Now let's talk about AI, because this is where people get confused. AI is not here to replace your voice. It's here to remove friction. Use it to spark ideas. Use it to analyze what's working. Use it to speed up structure. But the voice stays yours. Same bones. Your tone. That's leverage, not cheating. We're living in a rare moment. For the first time in history, you don't need permission to be visible. No gatekeepers. No approval process. No credentials required. Just a phone, a voice, and consistency. The people winning right now are not the smartest or most polished. They're the ones who show up. They post. They test. They adjust. They keep going. They don't wait to feel confident. They build confidence by doing. This is the new era, where real beats perfect, where fast beats polished, where momentum beats motivation. And the people who win are the ones who start before they feel ready. So remember this. Talk like you talk. Post before you overthink. Let your voice be the brand. That's how this works. That's how you grow. And that's how you build something that actually lasts. If you're wondering how this actually turns into income, there's a link under this video to a business that's built around TikTok. Watch it with an open mind.